Happy Navratri to all of you and Shubha Navratri to all the viewers. In yesterday's video we saw that what is Navratri, how it is uniquely celebrated across the country, and there are very different rituals which keep happening, So yesterday while we was going through all this, I mentioned to you that in Maharashtra it is celebrated in every household, almost in every household, and it is called Ghatastapana. So as said, we are going to discuss today, or we are going to hear out today about what exactly is Ghatastapana, why it is done, what is the significance of it, and what are all those basic things which are done during Ghatastapana. Now, even for Ghatastapana, I will tell you that in many households, there are small variations in the rituals. These variations, if you ask me, or rather it's my way of looking at it and the approach for it, as per the local, okay, these variations are always seen in celebrating festivals. So it is not only about Navratri and Ghatastapana, but the local food, the local flowers which are available, the local fruits which are available. So many of our rituals go on varying according to those small things, and which is very logical also. So now coming back to Ghatastapana. What is Ghatastapana? Ghata means a pot, a earthen pot, a mud pot rather, okay, and it has a very specific shape which you can see behind me in the picture just now. So this is a pot which is bought on the first day of Navratri, okay. This pot symbolizes prosperity, okay. You will also hear a story where this pot symbolizes the womb of a woman. So for the kids who are watching this video, what is a womb? Okay, if you have never heard about it, womb is that safe place where you remain for 9 months before coming into this world. It is a place inside your mom's stomach, okay. Now when I say it is something which is inside a woman's stomach, it is something which supports a life for 9 months. So exactly this is the symbolic representation. This pot is a symbolic representation of the same, okay, full of life, full of energy, okay. So this is not an empty pot which is put, okay. There is water which is put in this pot. Then there is a betel nut, okay, the local name for betel nut being supari, okay. Then there is rice which is put. There is a 1 rupee coin which is put in this pot. Also some people put the king grass. So king grass is nothing but the durva, okay. So it is called the king of grass, okay. So durva is something which you must have heard during Ganpati, that it's one of the favorite offering to Ganpati, Lord Ganesha. So all these things are put in that pot with water, okay. And then this pot is placed in soil, as you can see in the picture. Now this soil is put in a cane basket, okay, which again you can see in this picture. And what happens is, this soil is not only soil, okay. This soil contains 7 types of grains, okay. Now these 7 types of grains which you can see just behind me, okay, I have very specifically also mentioned the English names for it, because many a times in India itself, locally, all these things have very different pronunciation, different vocabulary for when they talk about these grains. So if it is wheat, then obviously the Hindi speaking audience will understand it more better, like a gehu. The Marathi audience, or there are some other people who will understand it as gahu, okay. So similarly you can find barley, you can find til, you can find the gram, okay. All these things are shown in the picture. These are the 7 grains which are sowed in this soil, okay. So the soil which you are seeing just now is not only soil, it contains a mixture of this 7 grains. Okay, now the next question which is very obvious in your mind is why these 7 grains, okay? Yesterday as I mentioned, so I am repeating the same thing, that this Navratri, out of the 4 Navratris which are celebrated in the year, happens during the harvesting season, okay? Now what is harvesting season? It is a time when the farmer gets the crop, the yield comes, okay? The benefit actually comes from the farm during this time. So obviously his house is loaded with grains and all these things. So this is my way of looking at it, that why grains, during this time. Now if you ask me, there is also a story, or you can say there is also something which majority of the people across believe and follow, that these 7 grains also represent the 7 planets in our solar system, okay? We are definitely not going to get into the details of the planets, but I would like to mention over here, when I use the word planets, or when I say that each of this food grain symbolizes one planet, okay, then every planet, according to the lunar calendar, according to the lunar system which most of the Indians follow when it comes to festivals and all, they believe that these planets influence the life, okay? And friends, let me tell you something. So let us not get into astrology and all that, but yes, the solar system around us affects us in a certain way, So this 7 food grains representing 7 planets and the benefits you derive from them, okay, is definitely a very concrete theory, okay? And what I would like to suggest more on this is that if you see from a health angle, this becomes like a complete meal, that's my way of looking at it, all the 7 grains are like the essential part of our food which we have every day, okay? Now what happens? So this mud pot is placed, those grains are sowed in this, there is a water in the mud pot also. The next thing which you can see is, you can see the 2 malas, the hangings on the mud pot, okay? So and also what you can see, that there is a coconut which is placed inside the mud pot. Now coming to the significance of the great fruit coconut, which is like the vital, how you say that, the heart is the vital organ of the body. Coconut is a vital fruit in any of the Indian rituals, anything you take up. So why coconut, locally always coconut, which is known as nariyal, okay, and when it comes to celebration or festivals and all that, it is termed, or it is called as Shri Far. Shri Far is nothing but the fruit of God, okay? So why coconut has so much of significance? I mean, I remember when I was conducting some sessions on the same festivals and traditional things, one kid, as small as like a 8-year-old, that whenever we have a puja in the house, mama brings or gets in a lot of coconut. Then why can't we get a watermelon and put it over there? It is also a fruit. So friends, let me tell you, coconut again symbolizes life, the only fruit, okay, the only fruit which has water inside it. And what is water? Water is life, okay. The second significant thing about coconut is that every time for an auspicious occasion, a coconut is always broken into 2, okay. They say that the hard shell of the coconut symbolizes the ego of a person. So it is always, when you do all these rituals, you do all these traditions, you have to break your ego. Because once you break your ego, that white thing, the coconut white plain thing which you say, you are open for anything new to be accepted, any new energy to be accepted. So that is something about coconut. Now what you see in the picture also are the 2 malas which are hanging, okay. One you can see just now, because today is just the second day, I have put a betel nut mala, and I have put the marigold, the zendu flowers mala. Similarly, every day till the 9th day, 9 malas are put on this, and the specific thing is that this malas should touch that coconut. Okay, now this is like a offering which you are giving to the goddess. Okay, so at many places what you will find is that all the 9 malas are of marigold flowers, or they are of different flowers, they are of betel nut leaves, they are of mango leaves. Okay, so there are as I said, there are a lot of variations in the rituals as per, of course, the availability. So let us be very practical. Also, you will find malas of food, so there are these delicacies which are prepared. So there are these puris, which are prepared during Navratri. So these puris are hanged, some sweets are hanged. So these malas differ, okay, these hangings differ from household to household. That is what I will be more stressing on. Now what happens is, then within a period of this 9 days, this grass starts growing. Okay, this so 9th day, okay, 9th day you will see the entire grass growth. Can you see the picture behind me on the 9th day? Yeah, so that is the picture. So you saw that because now see, now this is simple science. Okay, the earthen pot has water in it. Okay, and the water keeps percolating outside in the soil. Of course, we have put water in the soil as well, and as per the season, as per the summer, which happens during the October month, you have to keep spraying water on the soil also a little bit. But nevertheless, the pot, which I said symbolizes life, so the water from that is slowly percolating in the soil as well as the moisture of the soil is supporting the pot. Okay, and that's how this beautiful grass grows. Okay, and 9th day, this is the picture in the house. All the 9 malas hanging, the grass fully grown. So I mean, you would have understood that how it symbolizes life, how it symbolizes prosperity, how it symbolizes the greenery even the farmer is seeing in his land, and that is what we get to experience during this 9 days, when there is full of energy, and Ma Durga, Ma Ambe, she comes to our house, so that's why this Ghatastapana, that's why this entire symbolic representation of the goddess coming to our house. Now I am quickly going to show you another unique and extremely beautiful way that how Ghatastapana is done in the Koli community, the fisherman community of Mumbai. Okay, so what you can see behind in the slide is all the fishermen, obviously in those days, in those local days when this thing started, they all live near the sea. Very obvious reasons for their profession. So they had this lot of coconut trees. Okay, so they believe in taking the whole coconut, okay, for the Ghatastapana process, as you can see in the picture. The second interesting thing what you can see is that they use the coconut leaves, the dried coconut leaves and the stem of that, to make those garlands of those marigold flowers, which you can very clearly see. And that's how they do a very beautiful thing, okay, behind which goes behind the goddess idol. Okay, so basically it is like a mask of the goddess which they have in their house and which runs for generations together. So what happens is, after this marigold thing is ready, okay, they put the mask in front of the marigold thing, okay, and then this mask is placed in that pot, okay, which has a coconut again, okay, and see how beautifully they decorate. Okay, so this looks so beautiful that it is just like a woman sitting That's the whole, the hands, the legs, and and then it is very beautifully decorated in this. So if you want to know more on this, I have given you their YouTube channel link over there for Mumbaikar folks, where you can see all these traditions happening in their community in details. So this is overall what happens in Maharashtra during this 9 days. Okay. Now, last but not the least, I know many of you must be now hearing that, this is the color to be worn on this day, and this is the color to be worn on this day. This gives you that, this gives you that. Yes, true in one sense, but let me tell you that when it comes to Ma Durga, when it comes to any goddesses, okay, especially in India, the prominent colors are the red, green, yellow, purple, okay. And these are the colors which you can wear for all the 9 days. Okay. Now the colors which you see, which keeps coming in the media or keeps roaming on the WhatsApp messages for all those 9 particular days, is nothing but it is about getting people together to do something in common. Okay. But don't get trapped that of course, for women it is a very happy occasion, because if they don't have that sari in the wardrobe, they are going to get a new one. But otherwise, apart from the togetherness, apart from the culture around, there is not a very religious significance beyond for those 9 colors which you always see, which keep circulating here and there. So that is something which our next generation should understand, because every time they see, so I can say those color combinations which you see outside or which keep circulating here and there, they are very beautifully done concepts where 5 friends come together, and if they are wearing that similar outfit, they are wearing the similar color, this thing, it brings a different kind of joy, it brings a different kind of togetherness. So let us look at it from that angle and not give it a very we don't put it like a constraint, that, oh, you did not wear a grey today. So that's where I am coming from, and hope you have understood this, and that is what has to go to the next generation as well. Now the last thing which I am going to cover over here today is that as with the colors, same is with the flowers. So I will now show you flowers, okay, and I have purposely not named them, okay. Now you will find in many texts, or you will find it on many books and in many internet pages, that a particular goddess needs a particular flower. Okay, friends, let us understand, at the end of the day, she is the Almighty. Okay, so she it's like when it's your birthday, okay, you get gifts as per your liking, as per what you want. Okay, now what happens is that similarly everybody have their own set of choice. Okay, so let us understand that all these goddesses also, or all these deities, we should understand that they have their own choice, and why not, everyone has that. So nevertheless, goddess Durga, okay, always people will prefer offering her flowers which have fragrance. Okay, now why fragrance? Because obviously it is something which brings in that pleasant atmosphere, pleasant environment. Okay, so the flowers which you can see behind are those jasmine flowers. Then you can see safa flowers, which are those yellow flowers which have a very strong fragrance. Lotus obviously symbolizes the flower for Lakshmi. So these are the flowers which keep floating around during the Navratri season. Okay, maybe around the year you might not see them. And as I mentioned earlier about the food grains, availability of local flowers is also something which is very important. So instead of making a constraint around it, that okay, for the goddess this flower is only required, let us understand whatever you offer her with love, with great dedication, and if you behave like a human being, I think so that is the biggest offering you can give Ma Durga. So I hope you liked today's video as well. Tomorrow we come up with another third surprise. So do tune in to Banyan Minds on our Facebook page and Instagram account as well. And your feedback is most welcome. So Shubha Navratri to all of you.